All right, I'm back. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm back. I had to harshly reset my PC. Hold on. I gotta I have to open up the other programs. So I gotta open up VTube Studio. Let me see if this will work. I'm gonna go to game instead. Okay, now the music wants to work. Okay, I'm gonna open up, okay, so I'm opening up VTube Studio. So let me just show you guys real quick, because I do want to show sort of like the process of what I did. So we're gonna continue where we left off, where it's like I show you the process. So let me just do that. Let me open up Clip Studio Paint. I think it was because like I had some stuff running that it was like mad at me, but okay, everything should be fine. You can see me now. All right, let's go to the art stream. Okay, let's see if I can get this to work. Okay. All right, let me open this up and then okay, I can open up this folder, but at least now we have the music. Now the music is fine. This is what I wanted. But yeah, OBS was crapping out on me. But anyway, so go back to what I was trying to do beforehand. Let's see. So this was the original, the storyboard for what I did with the lore video. So this is all the storyboard ideas. You can kind of see where they connect. I'll even do this just to kind of give you guys like the side by side. So for example, this one, you can kind of see where I got the inspiration. Some of them were like directly drawn over, and then others I had to like redraw. But yeah, like as you can see, here's like the other one. So yeah, just to kind of show you an example. But yeah, that's kind of how like I did the storyboarding. I had, the first thing I did was a script. So like basically everything was script. Like I had a script that I wrote, and I knew I wanted it to just be sort of like telling a tale, telling a story. But yeah, this is the rest of the storyboards just to show you. So this is kind of how it was, how it turned out. And then here's the final part of it. And then this is the illustration. So this is the one I used to promote the video. So this is the illustration for it. I'll probably use this as like a thumbnail. I gotta make a thumbnail for that video, but yeah. So yeah, this is the this is like kind of like all the illustrations I did. And then basically I took all of this and I used CapCut to like edit everything, because I wanted an editing program that was like very easy, very like I knew how to use it. I technically know how to use an editing program thanks to my first lore video. But I was using a much different one at the time back then. So this was like a brand new like experience. And yeah, like actually here I could show, let's see, I'll show this one. There was something else I was gonna show, but I realized I could probably show it, but I have to cut one part of it out, which is gonna be a little weird. Let me see. I don't know if I could do it like this. Actually, you know what? No, I have a better idea. Hold on. I just want to show one thing, but I have to... The thing is, I realized that this thing I want to show, it actually has... Wait, how do I do this again? Oh my god. The problem is that the thing I want to show has something that I can't show just yet. Oh shit. Okay. Sorry, I got surprised by that. Okay, it's not letting me do the thing. Okay. You know what? I'll just have to show it later. Sorry, I'm like... I thought I'd be more prepared than this, but apparently not. Okay, I'll have to show it later. I was gonna show a piece of art that I did for this, but the thing is that it contains something that I cannot show just yet because it's for something later. But yeah, like basically I had a lot of like kind of concept ideas. I did a lot of art. I did a lot of reference stuff. When I edited everything onto CapCut, I basically I went on Dova Syndrome. I was looking for music that kind of fit the mood, and because Dova Syndrome, everything on that website is for the most part like royalty free, I figured like that would be good. Hopefully it should be royalty free. I hope like Twitch or YouTube don't get angry at me, but it's supposed to be royalty free at least. But yeah, that's pretty much like in terms of what to show. Yeah, that's pretty much kind of like the gist of like this project. Like I said, I was the only person that did this project. Like, again, the only thing I didn't do was the music. Obviously, I got it off of Dova Syndrome. I put the credits at the end of who did the music. And like I said, when I do upload it after the stream on YouTube, I'm gonna put the direct links of like where the music comes from, because I did save it onto the folder files. But you know what we could do? I think it's funny because I had to reset the stream just to show some stuff and everything. Here's what we're gonna do. Let's go to... What I'm gonna do, actually, I'll just leave it here. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to, before we end stream, I'm going to show the lore video one more time so that at the very least, like, especially since this stream probably got cut in half, at least both streams are gonna have the lore video, and then afterwards, you know, I'll just have a little bit of like a final chat, you know, just to talk about like what's gonna happen in the, like, just to give you guys like some like last minute updates. So I'm actually gonna pause the music. And yeah, I'm gonna show the lore video one more time. And then I'm basically going to just like say goodbye to everybody, and then I will you know, we'll come back to the just chatting. So yeah, enjoy the lore video a second time. Once upon a time, there was a sad, lonely girl. She had no friends and no family, and lived a sad, lonely life at a foster home. She wanted friends, but was too shy and anxious to approach anyone. She believed her life would be nothing but loneliness and misery. But one day, she was visited by an otherworldly helper who took the form of a bird. The helper gave her a magical pendant that can help grant her deepest wish. She accepted the pendant, and it gave her the ability of platonic charm. Those who would see her would become interested in her and have a small desire to befriend her. She tried the pendant out in school the next day, and immediately a group of students became interested in her.
Soon, they became a close group of friends, something the girl wanted for so long. Their friendship grew and grew, and the girl was even adopted by one of the friends' family. She was so happy and felt like her life would be filled with love and friendship. Life was perfect. But one day, she noticed that her friends would sometimes hang out with other people and even befriend other people. To most people, it is perfectly normal for friends to have other friends, but to the girl, she did not like it and immediately grew jealous. Feeling that she may get replaced or become a disposable friend, she tried to use the Pendant's ability on the other friends, but it did not work. She went to the helper, asking him to give her pendant more power. He had tried to suggest other ways she could solve her problem, but she instead begged him for more power. Hesitant but feeling sorry for the girl, he granted her more power in the pendant. The girl was happy, but the helper felt concerned. The next day, the girl noticed that many people were interested in being her friend. The girl accepted these people, but soon realized that the whole school was charmed by her. Everyone wanted to be her friend, and her popularity grew and grew in such a short amount of time. She went from being the loneliest girl to being the #1 most popular girl in the whole world. It was overwhelming to her at first, but with how friendly, kind, and giving people were to her, she quickly accepted her newfound popularity. She became more content and happy. Perhaps a bit too happy. Greedily happy. She grew to love the attention and gifts people gave her. The more popular she got, the more gifts she got, and the more luxurious the gifts became. She grew to love these gifts so much. In fact, it became something that she would expect when she met new friends. She also met friends who had skills and talents that benefited her. Even though everyone saw her as a friend, not everyone she saw was her best friend. She started ranking people's friendships with her based on usefulness, status, and benefits. People who were rich, had amazing skills, or had power would be her best friends. Meanwhile, people who had none of those were ranked as her loser friends. She also made it very clear to them that they were her loser friends and that they needed to change themselves if they wanted to rank up as better friends. Since everyone was under her pendant's charm, they wanted nothing more than to become better friends for her. Sometimes, these friends, who weren't as influenced by the pendant as others, would tell her honest things, like not liking what she said or crossing their personal boundaries. She would retaliate by scolding them and even hitting them for talking back at her. She would tell them they were no place to talk back at her and that they should unconditionally love her and please her no matter what. She would then force the pendant's charm to increase its effect on those people, forcing them to be absolutely devoted to her. Her desires affected the pendant to the point where the charm turned into a manipulating spell. People were practically brainwashed into friendships with her. She loved this power and had no desire to stop it anytime soon. Her popularity would turn her from a humble, sweet girl into a greedy, manipulating dictator who brainwashed the world into her fingertips. The otherworldly helper began to notice this and confronted her. He told her that she can't keep doing this, and this is not how her dream should have turned out. When he tried to get the pendant back, she attacked him and trapped him in a cage. She laughed at him, stating that the pendant is her property and will not return it back. The helper was disappointed in the girl and disappeared from his cage when she wasn't looking. Later on, the girl and her brainwashed friends created a huge monument in her liking. She climbed up the monument and prepared a speech for everyone. But at that moment, the helper showed up, this time with other helpers at his side. They confronted the girl, saying she abused the powers given to her and they must take her pendant away. She tried to attack them, but thanks to their magic, they ambushed her and grabbed her pendant. While the girl struggled to get up, the otherworldly helpers began preparing a spell. The bird helper told her that the spell would erase her and everyone's memories, and that things would revert back to how they were before she received the pendant. Realizing she would go back to her miserable, lonely life, she gained inner strength to get up and jump towards one of the helpers. She successfully attacked them and grabbed the pendant. However, she realized that the momentum of her jump made her jump off the balcony of the monument. As she fell, she tried desperately to channel the power of the pendant, hoping it would get her friends to save her. But just when she was about to channel the power, her own monument betrayed her. She felt her life slipping away. She struggled to stay alive. All she could feel at the moment was despair. Despair that it was over, that it all came to this, that it was all the end. And yet, she also refused. She despairingly refused to believe it was all over. In her final struggle, her last words were, "It's not over." The otherworldly helper looked down in sadness. They didn't intend for this to end. The bird helper felt incredible sadness and remorse. He felt failure on his end. He felt he could have done better to prevent all this. They comforted him while taking the pendant back from the girl. The pendant's corrupted light had faded away and was now a pitch-dark jewel. The otherworldly helpers casted their spell, erasing everyone's memories and reverting everything back to how it was before. They buried the girl in a cemetery where no one on the planet would ever mourn for her, and no one ever knew about her. She started off as a nobody and died as one too. Since then, the pendant was taken back to the otherworldly helpers in their realm. The pendant would then be cleansed of any dark energies and would eventually be used for another person in need. Hopefully the pendant is in a much better place. After all, it would be a shame if it had some kind of curse in it or something. That would be silly. Speaking of the pendant, to end on a good note, apparently there's an otherworldly helper who made a huge discovery on his research recently. Something about him finally finding the right spell to get rid of a curse or something like that. Honestly, I don't really keep up with these tales a lot. And we're back. Second time is the charm. Well, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. So before I end stream, okay, I gotta close this real quick. So I just want to talk a little bit about, like, you know, like kind of like a little bit of the future, sort of, more or less. So right now my stream schedule is kind of finicky because I'm actually working on like multiple projects. This was one of the projects, which thankfully now I'm done with. But also, I really love your comments, you Squid. Absolute power corrupts absolutely, and ultra despair, yeah. But just to give a bit of an update, there are 4 things that I'm kind of currently prioritizing. The biggest one, and this is something that is one of those, like, I don't know exactly when it's gonna be done because there's a lot of things I gotta juggle with, but basically the biggest priority is the 2.0 model. You know, this model, like, eventually I am gonna, like, I mean, this is probably the only time I'm gonna actually use the word graduation, but like I'm probably gonna graduate out of this model and use a brand new model, which is the 2.0 model. But there's factors that I want to prepare for that as well. I'm also, the other 3 things I'm currently working on for this year, like kind of like my current projects, is I'm working on a children's book
but I gotta find like an agent and an editor, so that's like the thing. Interesting, the saga continues. Oh, there's more to it. Like, I wish I could say it, but I'm like, no, that's spoilers. Like, I don't want to spoil too much, so you just gotta wait and see. But yeah, second thing, I'm working on a children's book. The third thing that I've been kind of working on is that every month I try to prioritize like giving an illustration like based off of my characters or just whatever I'm feeling at the moment. Oh, I'm a little sleepy. Whoops. And then the fourth thing is I'm working on like rebuilding my portfolio, which by the way, this video is gonna be part of that portfolio, because I think having a portfolio is pretty wicked if you ask me. But yeah, basically my streaming schedule is gonna be a little bit shaky. However, I will say this, I am interested, especially since I found out about like some news related to it today. I am interested in purchasing a Switch 2, especially because I heard today from today's news that they're gonna keep the price of it. While some of the accessories might get a bit of a price change, the Switch 2, like the console and the bundle and whatever, that's still gonna be the same. So I'm a little bit relieved that it's like, oh, I'm not having to pay an extra like 150 or whatever. But I'm still debating if I want to get Mario Kart World, because here's my take. On the one hand, I definitely understand people, like, I do think it is like a very pricey game. And I don't know if there are things that they didn't purposely show. Like maybe there's some extra stuff they didn't show that might like justify the price a little bit. But on the other hand, Mario Kart is actually a very important game for me. Like the series is an important series for me and for my family. So for me, it would feel wrong not to get the game. And especially if I am able to get a Switch 2 on launch, like I am going to try to pre-order it. But if I could get a Switch 2 on launch date, if you could get it in the bundle, you save money, so I say worth it. Yeah, like, I'll think about it, because personally, here's my thing too, is like, you know, I understand like the cost and the expenses. I think a lot of people, like, I do think a lot of people who talked about the price and stuff, I think there is some validity to it. But I'm also like, well, you know, I work a job, I pay my bills, I do my taxes, I like to think that I'm a responsible adult with that stuff. Like, I think I can afford to, you know, do a little bit of money maybe I should say the word splooging. That's a bad word. But the point I'm trying to say is that, like, I'm still debating about it, but I will say I definitely want the Switch 2 specifically for Kirby Air Riders. I have been waiting for a sequel of Kirby Air Ride, and when I saw that shit, I lost it. I'm like, I need a Switch 2 for that game. One thing I also want to mention, I forgot to mention this, is that I am, however, next month, I don't know exactly. Yeah, you get me, you Squid. I mean, Kirby is love, Kirby is life, and Air Riders is one of my all-time favorite games. So yeah, like, I'm definitely getting Air Riders. But one thing I actually did remember is that I will be streaming, because this game is coming out next month, the new Fantasy Life game. I actually have to finish up the 3DS game, but I will be streaming the new Fantasy Life game. It's just gonna depend on certain timings, because next month I'm going to an anime convention. So does it come out on the weekend of that convention or not? Excuse me, I gotta like double check on that. But basically I will be streaming Fantasy Life, and depending on how I feel about getting Mario Kart World, I will be streaming that as well. But like I said, right now I don't have like a set schedule, but if you follow me on my Twitter or Blue Sky, I will always post like updates. I will always post like when I will be live, what I plan to do, just like I did today. So yeah, that is, you know, just keep an update on that. But I will say that probably, unless I'm in the mood this month later on, I think I will be a little bit more active with streaming around closer to the summertime. So like next month and June is going to depend on a lot of factors, but we'll see. Anyways, I'm gonna actually wrap it up here. It's actually technically been an hour. Yeah, it's been an hour. It's actually been an hour, but I want to say thank you guys for joining me. Thank you for watching this lore video with me. Again, it's gonna be on my YouTube right after stream. I'm gonna upload it right after the stream ends. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. This was a very big project I worked on. I'm very happy that I was able to complete it and share it with you guys. So yeah, I will end stream here, but you guys take care. Please, you know, drink water, get some fresh air, do what you gotta do. I will see you guys in the next one. You guys take care. Bye, everybody.